known as Granny Rocks.
And I'm James Maynard, otherwise known as Sweet Baby James.
And tonight I'm going to be talking about why are people so shocked and indignant? Hypocrisy 101. And I have a lot to say. I'm probably going to ramble. You'll have to forgive me. But there's a lot to be said on this topic. But before I get onto this topic, will Sweet Baby James please introduce our show?
Yes, you have come to Granny Rocks, where at this time every Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, Granny shares her wit, her wisdom, and her uncommon sense. So stay with us. And over to you, Granny.
Thank you. Well, you know, I've been having very mixed feelings lately because it's kind of nice to see the strong man tumble, isn't it? And to see people finally getting on board and saying the emperor has no clothes. But at the same time, it's kind of sickening for me to see all this hypocrisy of all these people who are saying, oh my God, these terrible things are happening. Now, I am going to be talking a little bit about, oh, Tracy said hola, and she sends love, and hola back, Tracy. I want to talk about this topic in a much bigger way than just how it's being discussed as the Capitol riots. I'm really talking about the lack of self-awareness, the incredible amount of violence in our society, the lack of compassion and all of that we're seeing. And I'm asking myself the question is, you know, why are we acting so incredibly shocked? Nick says, glad to hear and see you tonight. Well, I'm glad to see you, Nick, because you may be one of the few people who isn't going to cut me off after the show. So, first of all, we live in an incredibly violent society. I think Lizzie is trying to respond, and she's putting it out under the name Granny Rock. So it's under hello. So could you fix that, Elizabeth?
Hello.
And hello, Catalina.
Hello, Catalina.
She also sent us hearts. So, you know, everybody knows there was a riot at the Capitol. And all of a sudden, all these people who have been watching all this violent rhetoric for years are saying, that's it, enough is enough. And Deutsche Bank, that has been bankrolling the president for, I don't know, decades maybe, is like saying, no more. I mean, they suddenly became virtuous, didn't they?
They did.
Isn't it amazing? They're so virtuous. And all these social media companies that have been getting all these, you know, people watching them, all of a sudden, they don't want to hear from Trump anymore. So, you know, what is that about? I mean, where were they all this time? But there is something very special happened this week. And I want to talk about what that is. What is special is that this, quote, mob went after the seat of power. And all of a sudden, it's an attack on democracy. I guess it is not an attack on democracy when white nationalists bomb black churches and little girls die. So, Lizzie, that was L-O-Y. Anyway, Lizzie, you're still coming in as me. So can you switch that? Okay. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's that all of a sudden, the senators and the congresspeople and the people who are protected in their little world were being impacted by mobs that have been attacking protesters, that have been attacking black people. And so that's one element of the hypocrisy. So suddenly, it's a threat to democracy. I guess it isn't a threat to democracy when a young boy or girl is beat up for being gay. That is not a threat to democracy, right? It's a threat to democracy when our asses are on the line and suddenly the thing that we have unleashed is coming back to haunt us. Jim says, love seeing you both. Happy Wednesday. No political chat or listening to political from me, Beth, so I'll see you tomorrow for Just Piano. Peace be with you. Jim, this is not politics. I'm not talking about politics. I am talking about consciousness, and I hope that you stay with me, because I'm talking about our collective lack of self-awareness and our collective and caring and the violence in our society, and that is not political. That is reality.
I'd like to add something here. So much in our society is about winning.
Exactly.
And prevailing and getting your way. And getting your way often means overriding somebody else, whether it's by argument or emotional force or threat, like a bully, or beating somebody up. Or for that matter, with the children, spare the rod, spoil the child, beating up the kids to make them toe the line. So there's all of that going on.
That's right. You have read my mind, James. This is what we do. We have to win. And where did we learn that? I mean, Little League, kids football, academic competition. It's everywhere. You see, Jim, this is not about politics. This is about human consciousness. And it's not just in this country. We are in a soulless society that cares about power. And that power can come through money. We want to protect our sources of income. We want to protect our reputations so that we can look big. We puff people up. We tear them down. If it were not so, there would not be so much violence against women, against children, men violent against each other. There wouldn't be gangs. I mean, this is everywhere. But all of a sudden, it's at the seat of government. And that is just terrible.
Never mind all the other stuff that goes on.
Right. I call that incredible hypocrisy. I don't know why you're shocked. I don't know why you're shocked. I don't know why we're shocked. I am not shocked. I see people going out there getting all dressed up in outfits to look like, I don't know, powerful, or whoever they are, and they're prancing around, and they're trying to wait till they are in torture chambers. Let's see how powerful they look and they feel. By the way, I want to say something that may be too much political for you, Jim. Jim, you may have left already, but I hope not, because I want to talk to you too. When I was a radical in the 60s, the FBI and the government knew exactly how to break that movement. Exactly. They put in infiltrators to make people violent. Then they came down on them. They had spies that were telling on each other. They bought people off. They spread disinformation about those people. There it was. It was just amazing, and I saw how well they knew how to do that. How come they don't know how to do that now? I mean, have they really gotten stupid over the years? I don't believe that. So there's something very suspicious about that. And when you're talking about the powerless, you can do everything against the powerless. And it gets a pass. It's very sad. I want to see something really big changing in our world. I want to see us asking the question why. Blanca says, hello, Beth and James. Hello, Blanca. And this goes on all over the world. It's not just in our nation. As long as we're fixated on winning, as James says, on trying to make money at other people's expense, when we're trying to beat out others, when we're trying to look big, to compensate for how small we feel, we have to ask, Why? What's driving people? And I've seen it right here. Blanca said hi, and she sent a cute little creature, and we'll say hi back. Um, right here where we live, there's a Facebook bulletin board. And if you say anything that offends certain people, they get really, really angry and they'll threaten you and so on. And it's always comes down to they want to do anything they want and they don't want to see that it's impacting anybody else and they really don't care.
Mm-hmm.
And they puff each other up and they egg each other on and there's no accountability and they never look inside and say, well, why do I need to do that? Why am I blowing up Tannerite and disturbing everybody? Why do I need to look so powerful? Why am I refusing to wear a mask? Is that really, really freedom? You know, I want to say something about freedom. I see that the powers that be in the tech world are coming down on the social media of many groups. And it's high time, in a way, because that's the way they were able to communicate with each other. And you want to break up that line of communication. But it's not because it's against free speech. It's against people who are yelling fire in the movie theater. These people are endangering the lives of others. That isn't free speech. We don't have that kind of... Nobody ever said you have absolute free speech in this society. You have an obligation to consider the impact of your behavior on others. So if you yell fire in a crowded place and people are stampeded, you are indirectly responsible for murder.
Mm.
And people who have been revving up all of these patriots with lies are doing the same thing. That is not free speech. That's manipulation. That is using your power in order to incite violence against other people. So this whole thing seems really strange to me. I'm looking at what is happening in our nation, and I feel incredibly sad. I don't feel indignant. I'm not thrilled about the fact that all of a sudden all these people who have been enabling this lying are all of a sudden, questioning that and coming down. I see this as the seats of power are turning against somebody that they have used. They've used Trump to get their way. They made a deal with him. And now they're breaking that deal because it's embarrassing, or because it's hurting them, or because what is happening is threatening the seat of power. That is what's going on. This is hypocrisy. And I would say that all of us, I don't care if you are a Democrat or a Republican or a progressive or anything else, don't we all cherry pick the news to try to find something that is going to bolster our message and our belief? How often do we look deeply into anything? How often do we look deeply into ourselves? How am I reacting to this, and why? Instead of just jumping on the bandwagon, we don't ask those questions. You have something that you would like to say or ask, James?
It's just very interesting that the very people who have facilitated so much of this lying and misleading of people and violating laws, really, are now being so self-righteous and in denial about the roles that they have played in trying to carry on with more lies to cover up.
Yeah, but James, my point is, we all lie.
Mm-hmm.
We all
We all
cover
try to
up.
minimize and deny our bad behaviors.
That's right. We're all looking for a way to prove that we are the victim. We don't look within. We cherry pick information. We don't listen to the other side. We really don't care. We have not created a society of mutual support. We have not co-created a society of love where people love and cherish one another. And it is so far gone that I don't know what to do. All I can do is reach out to you. If you're watching this show, I want you to look inside and see how hypocritical you may be at this moment about all of this. How much you may be revving up your indignation in order to justify your violence against others or winning against others. I'm asking people to look deeply into the hearts of all people and ask, why can't we really co-create a society where we support each other instead of winning?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of us feel helpless and powerless, and then we identify with power and anger as ways of feeling powerful. And look what happens in sports. We support people beating up on each other in football, in basketball, in boxing, and wrestling, and all kinds of sports. And
cheer.
And then cheer.
And the nicest guy is cheering at the football game.
Yeah.
With no realization that he is doing or she is doing exactly the same thing. That we're not looking at within. We're not considering the impact of our behavior on others. We are not promoting peace. We're not promoting centeredness. We are not promoting love. And I don't care which side you're on. And it isn't that, again, that I don't think that people need to be held accountable for certain specific actions. But why are we picking the things that we pick to hold people accountable for and ignore all the rest? The abusiveness, the rejection, the cruelty, the making fun of the disabled, the disempowering people. This is a time of national and international reckoning. Not in the sense that most people are talking about it, but in the sense of really looking at, do we really want to know what's going on? Do we really want to know the truth? Do we really want to support each other? Do we really want to create and co-create a world where we take care of people, where we give people a sense of safety so they don't have to act this way, and where we stop puffing people up for looking powerful? Ooh, 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 ooh. And that's the question that I want to leave with you with tonight. But I'm not done. I'm just getting started. So please leave your comments and let's see what we can do. Let's make this not only a time of reckoning, but a time of understanding, a time of introspection, a time where we switch from blame to self-awareness. Then it would all be worthwhile, and then we may, in fact, usher in a better day for everyone. So please come back every Wednesday night at 6:30 to see Granny Rocks, and on Thursday night, come to Dreams of Peace at 7 p.m. Pacific Time, and I will play the piano for you.
Which, by the way, I experience as a form of music therapy. So if you want something to soothe your soul and bring peace, that music is really effective for this.
Thank you. We need that. We need to be calm. We need to be centered. We need to be introspective. We need to be self-honest.
And if you resonate with this show, please share it with others.
That is a very good idea. Please share this with others who may or may not like you for it. Have the courage to stand up to the collective hypocrisy. Yes.
Yes.
Love you.
Bye for now. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.